Why did you dream of blowing up synagogues, excuse me, and killing as many Jews as possible? Don't.
Enough.
What? What do you mean enough? And you said that he was glad about the birth of your new Jewish boy? For what reason? To kill him? David Menzies for Rebel News here at the Ontario Superior Court in Newmarket, Ontario. And folks, we're here to bring you the latest on Wassuddin Akbari. Now, you may recall the name Akbari. He's the man who was convicted at this court last November by Justice Edward Prucci for threatening death and property damage. Geez, that sounds serious. Oh, and you bet it was. What Mr. Akbari wanted to do is to blow up every synagogue in Toronto and kill as many Jews as possible. Now, the way in which Mr. Akbari's grotesque fantasy became public knowledge was thanks to a visit to an Aurora BMW dealership. That's where he encountered a sales representative, Cameron Ahmad, and incredibly, Mr. Akbari went off on a tangent about how much he hated Jews and the state of Israel. Now, going back to testimony from last year, this is what Ahmad testified that Akbari said. He believed that the Israeli government was, quote, controlling the entire world and that they were trying to exterminate anyone who was not Jewish, end quote. Ahmad also alleged that Akbari said, quote, Israel sought to turn the world into slaves and to poison the world. Ahmad further went on to say that Akbari equated Israelis and the Jewish people to roaches or insects and that they needed to be exterminated. And then, of course, the worst part of what Akbari allegedly told Cameron Ahmad was this, quote, I know when I'm going to die because I'm going to plant a bomb in every synagogue in Toronto and blow them up to kill as many Jews as possible. I'll make sure those attacks are filmed and posted online so the world can see what I've done, end quote. Well, if Mr. Akbari thought he had an ally in Mr. Ahmed, he was very much mistaken. What Cameron Ahmed did immediately after that encounter, believing the threats were real and valid, was he phoned the York Regional Police Service and the RCMP, who would later arrest Mr. Akbari. Now, when you look at Mr. Akbari's testimony going back to when he originally took the stand last year, it was akin to a descent into madness. He incredibly said he didn't know what synagogues were and that the real focus of his anger were casinos because allegedly last year he lost $500,000 gambling, and he said that he wanted to close the casino. That's an interesting choice of words. How does one close a 24/7 casino, folks, unless there's some kind of ominous shenanigans involved? Well, I can tell you, my cameraman Maurizio and I, we spent the entire day in court here, hoping to find out what his sentence would be. Like I said, he was already convicted in November for uttering death threats and property damage. But today was going to be, we thought, his sentencing. However, it turned into an all-day affair. There were community impact statements from 5 different individuals representing Jewish groups. And then, of course, the trial took about twice as long as it should have because Mr. Akbari evidently needed a translator, and no fewer than 3 translators were involved. But isn't that kind of funny? I thought the conversation with the BMW dealership was in English, and certainly when we reached out to him late last year, when we paid a visit to his restaurant, when he called us, it seemed his English was perfectly clear to us. Here, check out this excerpt.
Who allow you to come there? Who allow you to come into business?
Oh, I was just seeking your side of the story, sir.
I would never comment on your thing, okay? You should never ever go there, and you should never take any video or any post or anything in the restaurant.
But sir, I wanted to get your side of the story about.
You should call me, and you should call my lawyer.
Now, I can tell you folks, the Crown was asking for 4 to 6 months jail time for Mr. Akbari. As well, they wanted the maximum probation of 3 years. They wanted a weapons prohibition for 10 years and a stipulation that Mr. Akbari cannot go to any Jewish schools, daycares, gatherings. He must remain at least 500 meters away from those institutions. Also, there was a demand that he not possess or carry explosive devices or anything that can cause fire, and a further weapons ban to include such things as knives. That was what the Crown was asking for. As for the defense lawyer, they just wanted a discharge. And essentially, Mr. Akbari's lawyer painted, well, Mr. Akbari as the victim. He said that he has suffered enough. For starters, he has lost his franchise. He used to have a restaurant on Davis Drive. The franchisor has taken that away from him. He has suffered humiliation. That is thanks to the media coverage of this event. He has also apparently lost the respect of his children. He has 2 kids, 16 and 18. Evidently, they have been harassed and bullied at school because of their father's actions. Mr. Akbari is allegedly suffering from poor health. That includes depression, anxiety, and stress. So essentially, that was the argument for the judge to go lenient on Mr. Akbari. And I have to say, I thought one of the biggest jaw-dropping statements in this entire day of testimony was when Mr. Akbari's lawyer said he thought the motivation for Mr. Akbari fantasizing about blowing up every synagogue in Toronto and killing as many Jews as possible was he thought that was going to get him a discount on buying a new BMW. Yeah, you heard me right. He thought the salesman wanted to hear that kind of grotesque rubbish. Instead, it was the salesman that called him out to law enforcement, and a tip of the hat to him for doing so. Oh, and by the way, when Mr. Akbari took the stand and read from a prepared script in his native tongue, he was full of contrition and regret and remorse, but nowhere was there an apology to the Jewish community. He apologized to the Afghan Ismaili community, but not to the Jewish community. Now, why would that be? Now, of course, this being Canada, we can't record in a courtroom. So after the proceedings, my cameraman Maurizio and I, we went outside to await Mr. Akbari. We were hoping to scrum him, and we learned something, that his lawyer is not only a solicitor, but evidently he's a bodyguard as well. Here, check out my attempted interview with Mr. Akbari. Mr. Akbari, why do you hate Jews so much? Why did you dream of blowing up synagogues, and killing as many Jews as possible? Don't.
Enough.
What? What do you mean enough? You're a lawyer and you act like a thug? And you said that he was glad about the birth of your new Jewish boy? For what reason? To kill him?
You're nothing but an agitator, and you need to stop.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was Mr. Akbari's lawyer. What is incredible is that he is of the Jewish faith himself. Well, at least that's what he said in court. He said that Mr. Akbari was so happy with the new birth of a Jewish boy. I wonder why that would make Mr. Akbari happy. He also testified, and I thought this was the most incredulous statement of the day, that Mr. Akbari, the motivation for what he said, blowing up every synagogue in Toronto and killing as many Jews as possible was that he thought the car salesman would like to hear that and he would get a better deal on his BMW. Absolutely incredible. Well, anyways, we gave it the good old college try to get Mr. Akbari on the record. I had a whole sheet of questions for him. He wouldn't answer any of them. And we will be back here on July 28th. That's when finally Mr. Akbari will be sentenced. Stay tuned. For Rebel News, I'm David Menzies. Folks, I know you appreciate it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but the thing is, we need your help. Unlike the mainstream media, we don't get any carny money. Please go to rebelfieldreports.com, rebelfieldreports.com, and if you're able to, kindly make a contribution.